Hey now, Pete from PFG Pedals here with a really cool, simple mod that anyone can do. What I have here is one of my absolute, always, all my board pedals. My favorite reverb pedal that I've used so far. It's the Hooke Reverb by Keeley. It's got a great simulation of the spring reverb and tremolo from 60s blackface Fender amps. It's a digital pedal, but luckily the switching is very simple. That allows us to add this external switch relatively simple. This is a single pole double throw switch. When you turn it over, you can see the three terminals from the switch come right through these pads here. The middle being the common. The top will go to the switch being down when the switch is down, because it just works in reverse. When the switch is down, this part, these two are connected. When the switch is up, these two are connected. In the middle, none of them are connected. Now, this mod will only work while you're in spring reverb mode, or if you're in bank 2, whatever the second mode is there. But I don't use bank 2 because I'm an adult, and I wish this fugue wasn't here. I wish they just put the Mac mode on number 1, and then this would be a much better pedal. But luckily I only use the spring and the tremolo basically to simulate those effects from a old Fender amp. Fortunately, all it does is make contact, and that tells something in the digital part of the circuit which part to activate, which makes it easy to add a remote switch. So all I did was tack on one wire to the common in the middle and one wire to the tremolo on the top. Ran that to a TRS jack. This style fits perfectly. You might be able to get other types in there, but I don't know if they'll fit. The space is just barely big enough for this type of jack to fit. I use TRS so that the sleeve can carry the ground over, both to shield the cable and to ground this, just to keep noise, down. Yeah, the remote switch is, I used stuff I had laying around, the 1590A enclosure, the a double pole or single pole double throw switch from a Dynacomp that I previously changed to true bypass, and then I used this jack instead of this jack. This jack would have been better because then the box would have been grounded by touching the jack, but like an idiot, I drilled the hole a little too big, and then only this jack would work in it. So that's what I did. And then where these wires go from here, it doesn't matter which way you do this. One wire will go to the tip. One wire will go to the sleeve. And then same thing over here. Ring. The sleeve is the ground. The ring will go to this one part of the switch. The tip will go to the other part of the switch. In this case, I use the sleeve to ground the enclosure, since it's this plastic box doesn't have direct contact with the box. The jack doesn't have contact with the box. And the easiest way to do that is I just hooked the wire around the lock nut, if you can see it in there, and soldered it to it. So now it's got good contact. It's grounded. Bang, bang. To connect the two, use a patch cable that's TRS. You can't use one of these normal mono or TS patch cables, because it'll just be like the switch never works, or it'll short it out because it's grounded all the time. Either one you don't want to do. Let me just state that it should be obvious, but do this at your own risk. But this is a pretty easy mod that literally my 6-year-old niece could do. If I was the kind of person that would let a kid handle a solder iron. Anyway, very easy, fits in there nice. One more point is that this is a modern pedal, so it's got lead-free solder. If you're an adult like me, you use leaded solder because it's much better. So make sure you got a solder sucker or some solder braid. Get the old lead-free solder off as much as you can, ideally entirely, and then use a good blob of leaded solder to hold these wires down. The back of the switch sticks through just a little bit, so it kind of gives you enough to hook the wire around and hold it in place. Super simple, sounds great. I'm not going to do a sound demo. You know what tremolo and reverb sounds like. The important thing, again, to mention is that I only use this in spring and previously in trem and verb mode. Now, when I leave it in spring and I hit that switch, it adds the tremolo to the spring mode. So, or it adds those two modes together. Either way, it works well. I've been using it for a while and it sounds great and I'm very happy with it. But if you use other modes in this pedal, I don't know how that'll affect it, and frankly, I don't care, but just keep that in mind. Anyway, I hope you like this video. If you don't, I don't care.